Rise and shine on Australia's Vision Christian Radio.
It's your Monday podcast, and I've got someone very special here.
I think this is the first podcast intro I've done.
Well, then introduce yourself to the podders.
So that's right. I'm Robbo, so joining Phil today. And in case you missed the program, which is probably why you're listening to the podcast, DJ missed a flight last night. He was supposed to fly back home after a weekend away and missed the flight. So you'll hear a bit more about that through the course of this next little while.
And if you've ever come close to missing a flight, or you have, I mean, maybe call him tomorrow and you can let us know. But we've got some funny calls today. My favourite involves a cruise ship, and I don't think I said it during the call, Robbo, but I had images of someone like swimming behind a cruise ship. Let me on. It's one of those things. Yeah, it's hard to know how you would get on board.
I would be just devastated, because you think
a massive ship.
You've been looking forward to this thing, and then suddenly it's just sailing off, and I'm supposed to be on that.
You can't get apart. You're like,
That's
wow.
Right. Incredible.
Anyway, so lots of fun to be had. We also give some Visionathon updates. And we're not sure whether this will go out by the time you hear this. Might be Tuesday. If so, Monday was a great day. We hope you had a great Monday as well. And DJ will be back with us tomorrow.
The Rise and Shine podcast.
Good morning. It's Monday, the 11th of November. Can you believe it?
Yes.
What was that voice? Just a second. If you're listening along early this morning, it's fellas normal, but I do have a new friend with me.
Yes.
Well, not new. You're here all the time, but we've got Robbo with me today.
Looking forward to spending the morning with you. We'll tell you why a bit later on this morning, but there's been a little bit of an incident over the weekend. But
no trees,
yeah,
no
that's right. No chainsaws
involved.
Involved, thankfully. No one was hurt in the making of this change. So, a bit of a difference this morning, but we are looking forward to a Monday morning together. Of course, I guess the Visionathon afterglow, you might say, like just
very
reflecting back on what's been an amazing week. But also, of course, reflecting on the fact that it is Remembrance Day. So it is Remembrance Day today, the 11th of the 11th.
Good
so
day
we'll
to remember
mention that
lots
as well.
Of different things. Well, I think coming up soon, we'll have a quick look at the tellyboard for Visionathon.
Yeah.
But we'd love to make a call out. If you had fun last night, like last week, or last night, like we did, and you can tell us about Visionathon, maybe your most favourite memory. Maybe there was a story or something that stuck with you.
Yeah.
Give us a call. Let us know. Let's reflect together.
No, we'd love to hear that. Give us a call, 1-800-316-316. If you did, one of those stories just really struck your heart.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform, and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
You're on Rise and Shine with Val and Robbo this morning.
That's right. It is Robbo filling in for DJ just for today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. We're going to ask you about your weekend, and we would have asked DJ about his weekend, but he's not here to tell us.
Well, he's still having his weekend.
That's right.
And we knew he'd had a big weekend. He was heading to Sydney to go to a Christian hip-hop conference or a convention. I'm not actually sure. I was looking forward to asking him more about
that's right.
it. But he's not here. Do you want to tell us why, Robbo?
Yes, well, we both got a text last night, early evening, saying, there's a problem. So DJ's missed his flight to come back home. So I don't know the full story. That's all I know, that he missed the flight. So I'm sure there's a very good reason.
I'm sure there's a very funny story behind the missing. Have you ever missed a flight?
I don't believe I ever have, no.
I'm more likely to be there I will be there ridiculously early.
Okay.
Because I feel the pressure of that. It's a real pressure.
It certainly is, because that's right. You don't get the opportunity to say, just wait for me, I'm coming.
Yeah,
it's just like, no, we're going, whether you're here or not.
Yes.
So, no, I've never missed a flight. I've come close a couple of times where it's been, sort of real, cutting it very fine. In fact, one that comes straight to mind was when I was travelling with Phil Edwards.
Oh, is he? Is he like
So, well, no, we were there early.
Right.
And we were sitting at we went, as you do, you go through security and then you go to a cafe and you buy yourself a coffee. And so we were just sitting there.
Oh, that sounds very good.
I'm not sure whether we sort of got our times mixed up or whatever, but suddenly our names were being called out over the and we're going, that's us. And we're like, what? So we're racing to the gate. But we made it fine and got there. But it was just like, we're caught out. So that's the one time or probably the closest I've come to missing a flight was with Phil Edwards.
Oh, no. I had some friends recently who almost missed their international flight.
Oh, no.
Because they had done the coffee things on the wrong side of the checks. And so they'd been having coffee and then they were like, oh, no, now we'll go through. But, of course, the line can hold you up. And that ended up half of them running to the gate.
No.
And I think the stress involved.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, my poor family end up waiting at gates for hours because I'm like, no, we're going to be there early.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. I think that's definitely the safe option, doing it that way. Well, maybe let us know if you've ever had a funny story of either a missed flight or a close call. We'd love to hear that this morning. But that's the reason why DJ's not with us today.
Well, you're a good sport here, Robbo, getting up early again for me.
So,
Thank you.
Yes, I love getting up early, don't I? So it's always a good thing. But let us know if you've ever had a close encounter at an airport with a flight closing and you had to be there. 1-800-316 316. And we'll hear tomorrow about DJ's weekend instead.
I'm sure we will.
It's the daily podcast of your favourite Aussie breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
You're waking up with Rise and Shine on Vision. Back to normal this week, Robbo.
Well, sort of normal. It's not DJ, but
yes.
but normal as in, no Visionathon. Although I got to say, I love Visionathon. Just
so much fun.
The testimonies that we hear throughout those 4 days are just incredible. Like some amazing things that God is doing in people's hearts and lives. So I love hearing that. But obviously we can't necessarily do that all year round.
Well, we can certainly hear testimonies all year round. Give us a call anytime. But Visionathon is still rolling along in the background, isn't it? Can you give us a bit of a tellyboard update, Robert?
Yeah, so if you weren't listening on Friday night late, we got to 1 point, what was it again from memory? It was 1 million and about 50,000, something like that from memory. So just over $1 million, which wasn't obviously what we were looking for. The goal is $1.75 million. Mm-hmm. So we were just on about 60% of the way there. And the good news is that over the weekend it's continued to climb. So we're now at 65% of the goal, which is $1.14 million on the tally board right now. So thank you to those that have continued to give over the weekend. Including a Vision family member from Lumia in New South Wales, just in the outer suburbs of Sydney. They gave $1,000.
Fantastic.
And they say, I love listening to Vision, and whenever there is an opportunity, I share things I've heard on Vision with others and encourage them to listen too. So good on you for giving and for sharing that good news with others as well.
Oh, we love that. A visioner, you could say. We need a term, I think, for people who share the vision with others. I can see a big thank you is needed to Wahiba in the Gooseberry Hill area. I want to give a big hug because it's first-time giver, but also a wonderful comment here. I asked God for some money as I wish to donate, and today God came through, so I'm donating. Praise God. I love that because God says, hey, ask me for seed so that you can sow, and that's exactly what's happened here. So thank you so much for getting involved in Visionathon.
That's awesome. Also, Nora is in Aveley in WA in the northeast of Perth. Nora gave $600, thank you so much, and said the daily devotionals have been encouraging all throughout the year. In times of great uncertainty, reading the devotion is like God talking directly to me. I've been nourished spiritually. Well, that's so good to know that Nora's being nourished. I know that there are many that are nourished by the word for today every day. And that's what we do, that we love helping people look to God daily. So we're providing those devotionals for Nora. And thank you for your $600 gift. And it's people like Nora giving that actually makes it available to other people, which is fantastic.
Right. Well, we hear so many stories, don't we, in prisons and in many places that we can never reach.
Yeah.
That's what makes it so exciting to be part of the Vision family.
Yeah.
Also want to thank Wally and Zena in Nerang who gave $1,000 and a lovely comment about how they are blessed by all of the different programs on Vision. We're blessed that you got involved in Visionathon, but it's not too late.
That's right, you can keep giving online, vision.org.au, or of course tap donate in the app. And we've had almost 3,000 people now involved with Visionathon over the last week or so, which has been amazing. So thank you very much. But as mentioned, we are still short of the goal. So we're just over $600,000 away from where we need to be. It certainly is a need. We can't just say, oh, well, that's all right, we'll just move on. It's like, no, we actually need to raise this extra $600,000. So you can be a part of that. If you haven't had a chance to give, maybe you were away last week and you've completely missed it and thought, oh, no, I haven't been able to give. Well, you still can at vision.org.au or tap donate in the app. Of course, it is tax deductible, and we'd love you to be a part of what God is doing through Vision, bringing the gospel to the nation.
You found the podcast of Vision's breakfast show, Rise and Shine. Rise and Shine.
Val and Robbo.
And we've got a special guest that's just dropped into the studio.
Dropped in.
Didn't miss a flight yesterday, so he gets to be here this morning. Pastor Sam, how you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Very well indeed. It's great to have
good.
you with us. How was your weekend?
I had a great weekend, a very busy weekend, so I'm a bit Monday morning tired, but that's probably not just me, it's probably everyone.
Pump you up. What was something memorable on the weekend?
Well, I did get to take two of my daughters.
Yes.
It's a Christmas present to the Lauren Daigle concert.
Oh, great.
I was there.
You were there?
I was there.
You loved it?
I loved it.
Where were you?
Okay, so I was towards the stage. If you're looking at the stage, on the left, up on the side.
Nice.
Were you close to me?
We were, if you look at the stage, we're on the right. On the
You're on opposite
Oh,
corner.
I couldn't wave. There were lots of times where, particularly at the beginning, where everyone put their camera lights on.
Oh, yes.
And you were looking around. Your side was very well populated
was
with
it?
camera lights.
So
Yes,
it's hard
it was
to
very
know.
impressive and quite good timing when they were like waving
Oh,
it in the
very
air.
good.
So very good to your
You
side.
don't know, so that's good
But
feedback.
Did you? Because I noticed afterwards that there were tons of people I knew who went to the concert that I didn't see. So I was.
It was the same thing for us. We went to church yesterday and people were like, oh, we went to Lauren Daigle, you know, I'm like, we were at Lauren Daigle. What? You're at Lauren Daigle? So what? I guess it was
Next time we need to synchronise beforehand.
It
So
would
we
be
can.
good. It would be good.
What did the girls
It's a funny thing, isn't it, that you can be in a big crowd of that with lots of people that you know, but you just miss them. You sort of, unless you're sort of, I guess, are in the same place at the same
in the
time.
bathroom. That's the place to do it, actually. I
In the
did see the only
bathroom.
people I saw who I knew, I was like,
Oh,
bathroom, because you're in that line forever.
Yeah. I met the one person I knew that I met was in the merch line.
There you
and
go.
That was a long merch
It
line.
was a long line. It was nice merch.
Great merch.
But the girls, what did they think of the concert?
Oh, they loved it.
Did they love it?
They loved it. Piper, who is going to turn 10 very soon.
Yes.
She is her first ever concert.
Oh,
she was
brilliant.
pumped.
So
she
good.
did little videos each day leading up to the night, going 9 days to Lauren Daigle, 8 days to Lauren Daigle. So we're going to put together a little video, and
It didn't disappoint.
They loved it. Yeah, it was awesome.
She was so good. I particularly loved the brass section.
Oh man,
Robbo, I feel like I need them here behind me all the way through. I'll just walk through life. If I could walk through
That
life
was
with
so
a saxophone, a trumpet, and a trombone, they
Yeah.
were dancing with them.
it
And
just looked like three guys living their best life.
100%.
You know, it was like,
It was like
I
party.
learned a trumpet way back when I was little. I never thought I'd get to stand on stage and just play the trumpet and dance around with Lauren Daigle. Like,
Yes.
what an awesome
If
opportunity.
you've got kids you want to say, hey, you should play trumpet, you need to see this guy.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is
Yeah,
that-
there's a reason to.
There's
yeah,
goals.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was
It was a
fantastic.
music fest.
Brilliant.
It was awesome.
Good stuff. Well, we might play a bit of Lauren Daigle just to keep you in the zone there.
Good idea.
And then we'll come back and get you to share a bit of a devotion, which is actually the reason you're here, not to do a review of Lauren Daigle, but
Oh, we're glad
it is
you
good.
did.
Because, of course, she is still to come, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth. So if you haven't got your tickets yet, worthwhile, I reckon. Obviously,
Definitely.
I'm hearing
Absolutely.
We love
two
it.
thumbs up from these guys. So worthwhile getting along.
Love the Rise and Shine podcast? Tell a friend today.
And that is Lauren Daigle. We're keeping the party going, the concert vibes going, aren't we,
Yeah.
Pastor Sam?
We are.
Was that was a favourite?
Well, yes, Jada, my
That's her.
third child, loves that one.
They were all very good, though. There were quite a few
They
that
were
went
so
off
good.
over the night. But anyway, sorry. Otherwise, we're going to keep talking about the concert. And we've got you here to do a devotion. Have you got one for us?
Well, actually, I think it ties in with what
Okay.
we've been
Oh,
saying.
even better.
I was going to speak about the role of singing and the role of songs in our Christian life. So here's the verse. It goes like this. This is Colossians 3, verse 16. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, teaching and admonishing one another in all wisdom, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your hearts to God. And a lot of what we do talk about when I come in is, this week, let's be in God's word, let's walk with the Lord. And one of the ways that Paul is saying in this passage that the word of Christ dwells in us richly is singing.
That's right.
Awesome.
That God has a significant role, I think, for singing. That might feel like a funny thing to say, but singing has a really important role to play in our spiritual lives. The Bible is just full of songs.
Yep.
When Israel crossed the Red Sea, what do? First thing, they've been saved, they've been set free. They sing a song.
Yeah, that's right.
There's lots of, obviously, the Psalms. There's a lot of songs in there.
That's right.
Just a couple.
It's literally all songs, and there's songs for every occasion, right? And even the harder times, there's songs of lament. In actually 1/3 of the songs are these sad, like "Where are you, Lord?" type songs. If we're honest, maybe 1/3 of our lives are a bit "Where are you, Lord?" And so the Bible gives us all these songs. Paul includes lots of hymns in his letters, the hymns about Christ. You get to Revelation, and what's happening, John gets this vision of heaven. What are they doing?
They're singing.
I mean, there's so much singing.
Yeah, that's true.
So we might feel like, if you go to church for any amount of time, you can get used to it and think this is pretty normal. It's actually that we get together and we spend a chunk of time just singing together.
Yes.
That's not that normal.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's one of the great gifts of God's grace that he says, sing to me. And I imagine it like this, like, you go into Lauren Daigle or you go into a theatre or you go into the sport. Imagine if you had to enjoy something that you thought is glorious, like it was awesome, but you were told to be quiet. That would be like, you'd be like, this is fantastic and I can't express anything. Like, we'd be all pent up and frustrated, right? Well, times that by infinity. If God's going to present himself to us and we see something of his glory, something of his wonder, the things he's done for us, and he said, now don't make a big deal about it. Don't like sing and, go on about it. Just keep it quiet. We would be, and so I think it's like one of the great gifts of God's grace. He says, sing to me. Yes. Sing the things that,
That's awesome.
So, can I give you one quote real quick?
Please.
Yip Harburg, he wrote the songs to Wizard of Oz, okay?
Okay.
I love this quote. He says, words make you think a thought. Music makes you feel a feeling. A song makes you feel a thought. A song makes you feel a thought. I love that because God wants that. He doesn't only want us to think true thoughts, though we must think true thoughts. He wants us to feel those thoughts, have affections for the things that we know and believe about God. And so he says, sing to me. Sing.
Wow.
That puts expression to the things that are in my heart that I know, and I can release those in ways that you can't otherwise.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. That's a really good point, Sam. And yeah, something that I've never even thought about, but you're so right. And I think that we can certainly, through the highs and lows of life, you can sing. And I guess even, there's so much good memorization in singing, like we, can learn important stuff like the scriptures, for example. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And tying it all with Lauren Daigle again, I was walking away from the concert and I said to the girls, there's a particular song that she sings that's This Girl's Not Going Anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, dudes, that's just a song and a thought to have in your mind as you walk through life and there's temptations or there's friends that might want to pull you a particular way, the world. Just what a great phrase to have in your mind, this girl ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's from a song, right? They'll stick in their minds.
Yeah.
This girl ain't going anywhere. I'm the Lord's. I walk with him.
And that's why it's so important what the music is that you're feeding on.
Yes.
That's what's going to come up inside you during those difficult times.
So that's true things that we're singing.
Yeah.
That's really important. And praise God for like radio stations that play like true songs to put expression to things in our hearts.
Yeah. Psalms and hymns and spiritual songs.
That's right. We don't want the rocks having to cry out for us.
Yes.
No. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Subscribe and listen to the Rise and Shine podcast in the free Vision app. It's easy and available everywhere.
Newsboys, heaven on earth. You're on Rise and Shine on Vision. Hopefully a bit of heaven on earth.
That's right. Yes, that's what we try to make it for you with Vision. And you've made heaven on earth for us last week with Visionathon because it's been an amazing week.
Yes.
Almost 3,000 people that have stood with us over the 4 days of Visionathon. And even over the weekend as well, we've had lots more people giving. So thank you, because we aren't actually at the target. So the goal is $1.75 million that we need to raise. We're currently at 1.14, so we're 65% of the way there, which is encouraging. We are closing the gap. The gap is now just a smidge over $600,000, so it's great to see it continuing to rise. And we want to say thanks to some people that have helped to make that happen.
Yeah, that's right. I'd love to thank a first-time giver from East Rockingham in WA who gave online and said, I'm new to Vision, and personally it's been a really difficult week, but listening has been has made it able for me to keep my focus on the Lord, his promises and not my problems. And that's what we hear, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great.
I would love to hear when we put the call out, if there's something from Visionathon that particularly helped you or that you are remembering, give us a call. We'd love to hear it. But thank you so much for your gift through Visionathon over the weekend.
Yeah. You also mentioned earlier in the hour, you mentioned Adrian and Joe from Point Cook. But the comments that they gave were great. Obviously, they've discovered DAB, which is fantastic. Yes. But I'm not sure if this is Adrian or Joe, but one of them says, I'm a rep, and spend much of my time in the car, and I often have struggled with loneliness in this role. But since finding Vision, I have felt surrounded by my family in Christ all around Australia. That's really special. So wonderful to have people tuning in, brand new listeners, of course, on DAB since we switched it on in Melbourne and Sydney earlier this year. But nice to know that they're feeling like they're part of a big family,
That's exactly what we love. The goal is, isn't it, really? That we're all we're one big Australian family, linked together. And Hank and Alligator Creek, can I just say, you live in the coolest sounding place. Like if you were an American hearing that I live in Alligator Creek, that's exactly what they think. We're all living there, Hank. But thank you for your gift of $500, which you gave online over the weekend. And the same with Gay in Yarrambak, in the Grampians there. I think I've said that wrong, Gay, but forgive me. But thank you for your gift online as well.
So good to see so many people getting involved with the Visionathon. Of course, you can too if you missed out. Maybe you were away last week and completely missed it. You can jump online at vision.org.au or tap donate in the Vision app to play your part. You can call, and now we can give you a number to ring later because the phone line that we were giving last week is the studio. We can't take your donation here.
You're welcome to call, but not for the donation.
That's right. You can ring us to tell us your story. But you can ring 1-800 000770. So that's the office number.
Okay.
1-800 000770. So write that down. You can ring in about an hour's time. The people will be there to take your call and to take your donation. But the easiest way to do it is just online. Go to vision.org.au or tap donate in the app if you want to help us to bridge this gap, a $600,000 gap to the goal, and we're believing to be there real soon.
Brought to you by the generosity of Vision family members across Australia and around the world. The Rise and Shine podcast.
You're on Rise and Shine. We've got Fel. We've got Robbo here this morning. Robbo, you're with me. A bit of a last-minute sub in.
That's right. Yes, I'm the super sub because DJ, we had a text from him last night saying, "Oh no, I've missed my flight." And so we thought we might actually check in with DJ this morning, who is not where he should be. But what's the story, mate? Like, what actually happened for you to miss your flight last night?
Now, can I just say, can I blame somebody else here?
Throw whoever you like under the bus.
Well, listen. This is what happened. I'm in Sydney for Australia's Christian hip hop summit. Like it's a bit of a festival, bit of a summit, bit of a concert. My boys, all three of the brothers Payne, drove down to meet me there. Very exciting. Two of them were actually performing for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
A wonderful thing. Now, when they arrived, they pulled up Saturday afternoon, and I came out to meet them, and they were then. Here's the thing. They're driving down. This is first stop as they take a big road trip for the oldest one, Drummond's wedding. So they're eventually going to get to Geelong. In the car, they've got their 3 suits for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
They come out and they say, "Dad, what do we do with the suits?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Leave them in the car." Now, they were being very, very clever. They were distracting me as I was looking at the suits and helping them with the suits. We then turn around back to the car. Who jumps out of the car? My wife, Benita.
Oh, wow.
And at the last minute.
That's lovely.
To jump in the car and drive with them all the way down. So we had to then book a flight to, for her to come home because she just jumped in there with no thought of how she was going to get back to where we live.
Okay.
So, listen, I might have got the times mixed up between flights that were booked and what was happening. And
right.
Shut-off times these days are really, they're concrete. They're not.
That's right. They board early these days. They board you early to get the flight away on time.
And we just were talking about how they just won't hold the flight for you.
How rude is that?
Yeah.
I did walk in and say, "Do you know who I am?" No, I didn't say that.
You wore your Vision shirt. Come on, people. Oh, dear. Well, we're glad you're okay. And we have told everyone there's no chainsaws or trees involved.
That's right.
It's just a missed flight.
Everything's absolutely fine. And everything is booked in for today. We are good. We will be back. And looking forward to being with you all tomorrow.
Classic.
Oh, very
that is
funny.
so funny. Well, I'm glad that there was a good excuse. It wasn't just like, oh, yes, well, we were running late, but it was more of a...
Yeah.
Well, it's an
confusion,
okay.
you might
I think it's an
say.
okay excuse.
Yeah,
It's still not fantastic.
As I explained it, it actually got lamer as I explained it. So I take full responsibility. All right, it's my fault.
Classic.
Oh, dear. Well, we have asked everyone this morning to make DJ feel better. When have you missed a
please.
flight or come close? And we'll save them all for you for tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. I need to know that I'm not alone.
That's right.
There's other people out there with probably better excuses, or better reasons for doing it there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, let us know if you have ever missed a flight, or maybe, you've had a very close call and you've just got through at the last second. We'd love to hear your story as well. You can give us a call, 1-800-316-316. But good to hear your voice, DJ, and we look forward to hearing you back on the radio tomorrow.
Thanks, gang.
Great conversations and great friends. The Rise and Shine podcast.
You're on Rise and Shine. And look, I haven't got DJ with me, but I'm in very capable hands here. I've got Robbo here. Phil Edwards is coming just to check everything's okay.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Are you okay, Robert? That's
I'm
probably-
okay.
Yeah, good.
I'm doing just fine.
We're all having a great time here. But look, we are having a chat. DJ's not here today because, Phil, you might not have heard, but he missed a flight.
Oh,
We're
poor
trying to make him feel better. Have you ever missed a flight?
I have once, but I can do one better, actually.
Yes.
We were going on a family holiday years ago to Tasmania, and we turned up at the airport a day early,
That's very impressive.
parked the car,
No.
went to the airport,
Oh,
and they're
wow.
like, "You're not on this flight." And I'm going, "Yes, we are."
Oh, no.
And then they looked at it and went, "That's tomorrow."
Oh, no.
So
Well, at least I didn't say that was yesterday.
I know we'd booked everything else the right date, but the flight was the wrong
so
date.
you had accommodation and everything ready for you?
Yep, the whole deal it was motorhome. A motorhome was booked, so
Oh, no.
I had to go back to the car park and explain.
Yeah.
Can I get my car back, please? And then we went home, and anyway.
Oh,
Well, at least you were
called
well
it-
practiced for the next day.
Yeah, we didn't get any refund on the motorhome rental, but they had a good laugh.
I'm sure the kids, were the kids little at that point?
No, they were adults. So everyone had a good laugh. as well.
Oh,
You never
Anyway.
live that down.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, I'm
But
glad
here
that
I
was
am
pretty-
telling you about it,
Well,
confessing my
that's
sins.
right,
There
yeah.
you go. Well,
Well-
and we've got that in our toolbox now of things
That's
that
it.
are embarrassing. that
As
we
I
know
said,
about.
at least it was the day earlier, not
Yes,
the
I
day
know.
late.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we're here on the day after Visionathon, and thankful for people that have gotten in on time.
Well, what a flight we had last week, hey?
Yeah.
That was amazing. And thank you so much to everybody who was part of it. I'm just so pumped up by all the stories that we heard
Yeah.
and continue to come through, by the way. Just get this little glimpse into people's lives and what God is doing and how we're helping them together. It's just so wonderful.
Oh, isn't it though? And we can see, can you give us an update, Phil, while we've got you in the studio of where we're at and what the gap is?
Well, we've still got a little ways to go, but when you think about if you're going on a journey, maybe on a holiday to Tasmania,
For example.
or climbing a mountain, that's probably a better analogy. Think about when you're climbing, it's hard work in the climb, but just imagine if you got to 3/4 of the way up,
Yes.
or let's say 2/3, actually, 2/3 of the way up, 65% is where we are. So you get to 2/3 of the way up and you stop and you sit down and you get your cold drink out and you biscuits or whatever, and you just take in the view and think about how far you've come.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
So we've come a long way. We are at the 65, so almost the 2/3 mark. A little way to go to get to the top, but we believe we'll get there. And we haven't, we have been in this position before, and we've seen God come through. So we continue to believe, and we continue to keep the invitation open for people to continue to give. Some come back around and give again, and I'm always in awe of those people. So if you're one of those, thank you. We had some of those last week, and we may well see them again. But then there are others that, as you pointed out earlier, Robbo, perhaps missed it last week. Or just for whatever reason didn't get around to it. Well, now's your time. We'd love to hear from you. The number that we have there as our faith goal, 1.75 million, is not a number that we've just made up or plucked out of the air. It is a number that we need for Vision to keep going and growing. And the reality is that we're made possible through your support. And I love that. That actually is how we operate. People love this so much that they're willing to put their money in. That's always a measure of how much we value something. So, I'm pumped up.
Oh, I love that. We're having our biscuits and our drink at the 3-quarter mark up the mountain.
Maybe a muffin.
A muffin. That's always very
Banana
nice.
bread.
Well, bit of jerky, maybe, if you're into that. No?
No,
No,
you've
I'm
lost
not
me
a
there.
jerky
Banana
fan.
bread, Robbo.
Yeah,
I'm
banana
all
bread.
over. But you're having
Trail mix.
Yeah, I'd go some trail mix. That's all right.
Okay.
Well, we digress, though, aren't we? We're in the mountain. We're having a look at the view. We are thankful for how far we've come. A bit of a way to go, but I know we'll be celebrating before much time has passed.
We're just having a little cuppa right now, and then we'll keep going very shortly.
Yep.
So
We'll get back, put our
Enjoy-
pack back on our back and
Enjoy
get
the
on
view.
again. But look, you can continue to give. Of course, the easiest way is online, vision.org.au, or tap donate in the app. And we are thankful for everyone that's been doing that.
Lots of laughs with lots of heart. The Rise and Shine podcast.
You're waking up with Rise and Shine with Fel and Robbo today.
And we're talking about missing flights and those close calls. Maybe you've just made it through before the gate closed. Of course, if you've just woken up, the reason I'm on the radio this morning is that DJ missed a flight yesterday evening and was due to be back here in time, but no, he won't be. But anyway, let us know your story. We'd love to hear. You can give us a call, 1-800-316-316.
We've got Claire who's given us a call. Claire, have you missed a plane?
It was a very close call. So it was my first flight ever when I was 15 years old.
Oh, well.
And I was travelling with 3 other girls from Tasmania, and we were flying to Sydney, and then from Sydney to Newcastle for an outreach training camp. Anyhow, on the morning of it, I was like the oldest one, so theoretically the responsible one.
15.
But our flight from Hobart to Sydney got cancelled, and we had to go Hobart, Melbourne, Sydney.
Oh.
And as an unaccompanied minor, so it's like,
That's a lot.
Oh, wow,
14,
That is
13.
hard.
But anyway, when we got to Melbourne, we had to wait for ages, like, I don't know, 6 hours or
Oh,
something.
my goodness.
And then they had someone with us from memory.
Oh, okay.
But then when we got to Sydney, we were very close to, we had to get to the other part of the airport to catch the final plane to Newcastle for the day.
Oh, no.
And they literally, I remember getting off the plane and we had someone escort us and we were sprinting through the airport. It was like, these 4 girls. And
Bags
they
on
were
back.
literally holding the plane for us.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was crazy.
So when you got on the plane, what was it like? Did they cheer for you? You feel like you need a standing ovation.
I think it was just like, and it was such a tiny little plane, like it was an 8-seater tiny little.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you had like half the seats in the plane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, it sounds like they needed to wait or it would be
Yeah.
half empty.
What a
Oh.
memorable way to start your flying career.
So now are you a super early to the airport person, Claire?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Oh, I can just imagine that. Can you? As a parent, I would have been watching. Now we watch the kids on the app. We know where
that's
they
right.
are, and
Yeah.
I would have been looking at them and going, "What is going on?"
Wait a minute. Are you telling me Vision's breakfast show is now available around the clock and on demand? Incredible! The Rise and Shine podcast. Rise and Shine.
On Rise and Shine, I'm very thankful to have Robbo jumping in nice and early with me this morning.
That's right. Yes, I'm here because DJ missed a flight last night, and so we're
It still
asking
makes
you,
me laugh.
when have you missed a flight or maybe had a very close call? We'd love to hear your story this morning. You can give us a call on 1-800-316-316.
I've got Belinda on the line. Belinda, when have you missed a flight?
Look, no, I haven't missed a flight. I actually thought I was going to be detained in India. Yes, I'm never going back to India again.
Wow.
May or may have had something in my bag that I shouldn't have, being a battery.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and before you get to even get into the airport of India, there's like tanks out the front, and you have to be on the flight itinerary, otherwise you don't get on. Anyway, we waited, and we finally got on, and then the little bag goes through, and this man with a handlebar moustache looks at me and goes, "Open your bag," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I did. Anyway, I had 2 little bags in the bag, and he said, "No, that one." Anyway, he confiscated the said item. And I don't usually get cross, but I just looked at him and I said, whatever, like.
Oh, no. Your inner teenager came out, Val.
Yeah, Yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, there you go. I'm just going to go and get on the flight. Oh, hello. There's like 7 more checkpoints before you even get to where you're boarding.
Oh, no.
By the time I got there, I was full anxiety attack thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be detained in India for the
Yeah. Wow.
of my life? Yeah, so that was, like not missed the flight, but thought maybe I'm not even getting on it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
never
right.
leaving this country.
Yeah, that's right.
There is a certain amount of anxiety though going through because we're pretty careful about our bags, but when we have the kids' belt, I'm always still
Yeah. And
Yeah,
certainly international is different, isn't it? I mean, obviously you're sort of familiar with the Australian system, but I'm the same. Whenever I've been in places like Nepal or Cambodia, you're thinking, oh, yeah, like...
What sort of battery was it?
It was just like a torch battery, a little tiny battery. Yeah, but you're not allowed
Any
to
batteries?
Yeah, but I got on the flight. I got home.
Well, we're very glad for that.
I'm glad.
I love these
Wow.
stories.
It's
But
amazing.
it is one of those things, particularly international flights. You're going through, and with the kids, we went to Bali recently, and so there was a lot of, what can you have in your bag? How much liquid? Is it this much?
Yeah.
Is it that much? And because you just don't want to get stopped going through
Exactly.
security. It is
Yeah.
a horrible feeling when your bag, when you're waiting, and then I don't know if you get through the bag check, and then sometimes if your bag's in trouble, it goes to the right, but there's quite a wait. And so we had 5 bags going through, and
wow.
everyone, there's like a big breath. You can hear the kids going until it gets and
Yeah.
it's free, or otherwise it goes down. And if it goes into the other piece and you're going to have to get checked, everyone's like, oh, that's your bag.
That's it. Yes. It's always that daunting feeling, particularly when you're in another country. Sometimes there's language, challenges or, whatever. So, yes, anyway, it's I'm glad Belinda got home. And let us know your story if you've had a missed flight or maybe a close call. You've just scraped through at the last minute. Let us know. 1-800-316-316.
I've heard of all-day breakfast on the menu, but here's a brekky show available 24/7. Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast.
We're closing the gap for Visionathon, and God always comes through.
That's right, he does. The gap is continuing to shrink. It's down around $600,000 now to go to our goal of $1.75 million. But we've been asking you today about the time that you either missed a flight or maybe a really close call. If you haven't heard, DJ is not here today because he missed a flight home yesterday evening. So that's what sort of got this going. But we've had some great stories coming through.
Well, we have, and I've got Fiona on the line. Fiona, did you miss a flight?
Not a flight, but I missed my cruise boat when we wanted to go to White Haven Beach.
Really?
You know what's worse than missing a flight? Missing a whole cruise boat.
Oh,
Did they sail off without you?
Yeah, so we got there just in the nick of time, but there was no parking. So I let everybody else out of the car and they were able to get on the boat, but I missed it.
So what did you do? Did you swim after it or a helicopter? How were you getting onto the boat?
I just missed the whole trip. They went ahead, and thankfully, Early Beach is beautiful, so I just drove around and spent my time.
So your
enjoying
friends were
myself.
on the cruise and you missed it. Like you're left
You had
there on the
quality
beach.
time by yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, okay. Word to the wise, never
Yeah.
be late for a cruise ship. There's
That's
no
right.
second chances. Wow. Oh, well,
Yeah.
thank you.
How long were they gone for?
I watched them sail away, and my heart just broke. And they were all upset, but and they had gone with my bag and my wallet.
That's
So,
crazy.
I gave them a call from the phone boxes. They're free now, so I just gave them a call and I said, "Look, I've got food in the car. You guys have fun, and I'll just enjoy myself in Early Beach." And so I waited for them to come back at the end of the day. I still enjoyed myself. Like I made that choice that I was going to
Good job.
enjoy myself.
Okay,
And
so it was a day. It was a day
Well, at
trip.
least
It wasn't like
day.
a
It wasn't
10-day
like
cruise.
Okay. It was more like a 3-hour tour.
It was just a day cruise from
Wow.
Early Beach to Whitehaven Beach.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's a great cruise. I've done that one a couple times, actually.
Okay. Oh, well, there we go. Because I'm imagining them going off to Hawaii
Yeah,
or something.
that's right.
And you left there without a wallet, phone or any clothes.
Wow.
Oh, well, thank you. I think that will definitely cheer DJ up when he
Yes.
comes back tomorrow and make him feel better.
That's good.
Amazing.
Thanks,
Thanks for sharing,
Fiona.
Fiona.
Can I just say thank you to everyone who participated in Visionathon. I do enjoy listening to all the podcasts that I get into. I love leading the way. Also Jeff Vines, and I like to call in when I can, and thank you guys for all that you're doing over there.
Oh, you are such
That's
a blessing.
wonderful.
Thank you, Fiona. Such an encouragement.
Yeah, well, thank you for your call and for your encouragement with Visionathon. As mentioned, the gap is shrinking. We're still getting people donating coming through. But we'd love to hear more stories about people missing flights as well.
Or cruise ships.
Yeah, or cruise ships for that matter. That's that would be a very whole different scenario there.
Thanks for streaming the Rise and Shine Daily podcast. Please subscribe to the show, rate it on your favourite podcast platform, and share the link on your socials. It all helps get the word out.
Well, we have been asking this morning. In fact, this is a good time to recap, isn't it? This morning, we've been talking about missing planes, which was a bit of fun. We also made a call out for your favourite moment from Visionathon.
Yeah.
And I loved Pastor Sam giving a devotion as well, all about the importance of singing.
That's right, yes, the idea of singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs and why that's important to us. So, yeah, it's been great this morning getting through all those different topics, but Lee's given us a call, particularly to reflect on a moment that she loved from last week during Visionathon. What was it that you enjoyed, Lee?
When Laura called in, that really prompted me to, inspired me as well, apart from such a good ministry that I love to support. And, I benefit so much from it, but to hear someone else benefiting to that same extent and just how important it is that, as you say, that we're collectively a group and to keep us together, that sort of like that one central place that we all tap into at moments that we can and in various ways. So, and hear the music, which is so good for us. Psychologically. Hi, Robbo there as well. So, so thank you. Just on so there's a theory underpinning the music, the benefits of music, and it's, I just escaped my brain, but there is a theory that, polyvagal theory, and it underpins how music actually stimulates the brain to the stomach. So it's actually really scientifically beneficial. Yeah, it's polyvagal theory. So have a look at that and just see the benefits of that. But that's off task. But so it's not just it's good for us actually.
100%.
And you look at all So when you look at all the people who go to church and the older people and they're thriving and doing well. Well, that's what's actually happening for us. Connecting to this radio station, and hearing of other people. Exactly, and that altruism that I hear for Laura, and I might be a bit down the dumps, but I can help her, who I've never met, we'll never meet maybe until heaven, and you connect me to her, and that helps me feel good too. So it's really it's really quite a big thing.
Honestly, Lee, it's so encouraging this morning.
Yeah, it's
and
great.
we really appreciate you calling, and you're on point. It's exactly right. The God's wired us for that, hasn't he?
Absolutely. And we're disconnected by the world and everything and circumstances, and so having this place where you can just tap in yes, you're right, exactly. When we can just tap in whenever. And imagine if you weren't there. I mean, China, you wouldn't exist. You'd be in jail. So we're really lucky.
We are so blessed. You're quite right.
Exactly. Yeah, we take it for granted. I think that's the thing with Laura's. I just take you guys for granted because you're just so constant.
Praise
but
God.
we do. We need to stop and say thanks because each 1 minute, losing it all would be awful. You're well done, you guys, and pray for you because. We usually get, we've got to stand strong together, hey? And well done.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lee. And such a beautiful story and memory of of Laura. Do you remember Laura's call from last week?
I do remember it. In fact, on the weekend, I was looking through in the Vision app. If you go into the Watch tab, you can actually see there's a number of videos which sort of highlights from Visionathon, and that was one of them. So I was actually watching it on the weekend, and just it's amazing to hear her story. You know, she became a Christian, and her husband just said, "Well, that's it. We're over." So he left her, and so she's really had to sort of, I guess, walk through that journey of separation as a result of her faith, which is really full on. You know, she's got a 15-year-old son in the middle of all that, and so she's been navigating it. But it was just wonderful to hear the way that God's been with her and carrying her, and the Vision family have been sort of virtually putting their arms around her in the middle of it all as well. So it's a very special story.
It makes you understand why it's so important to give into Visionathon, because as you are, you're actually helping people like Laura and Lee to be able to lean in, and it's like a big virtual hug.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already, we are still asking for people to jump in and support. And you can do that by clicking on the app that you just mentioned there, Robbo, or going on to vision.org.au and clicking donate.
That's right. Or you can. The phone lines are open now, so you can ring the office. So it's not the studio number, but you can ring 1-800-00-770. That's 1-800-00-770 during the day to make a donation. But certainly online's the easy way. So on the website or in the app, just tap donate there and you'll be able to make a donation and help us to bridge this gap. It's just under $600,000 to go now, but you can help us to get to our goal by making a donation today.
Tell us your favourite song by calling 1-800-316-316 and we'll play it for you. It's the Curtain Call on Rise and Shine.
That's right. This is the time of the day where we normally hand over the reins to song picking to the Vision family. But you've just had some news come in, Robbo.
That's right. Yeah, I just had a text a few minutes ago, and this is very sad news, actually, that Clark Taylor has passed away. So Clark, of course, was the founder of COC, the Christian Outreach Centre, way back in the day, and a very prolific, in church circles. Amazing. He's certainly done some incredible things over the years. Yeah. So, that's sad news that he's passed away just over the last little while. So if you're just hearing that news for the first time and you've got some connections, I'm sure there'll be some sad feelings. But also, I guess, some we celebrate the incredible life that he's led and the fact that he's gone on to be with the Lord, which is wonderful. So I thought we might, as a curtain call today, play a COC song, a Christian Outreach Centre, of course. What a great idea. Done some wonderful worship over the years. So we're going to play this one, All of My Days, which came out about 10 or so years ago. And, of course, even though Clark was founding way back before that, but I guess all that's happened through COC and all the different churches, and they've got some great schools and CHC that you work at. That's right. All that sort of come out of him from his founding that way back in the day. So legacy. We'll play this song, All of My Days, right now as our curtain call today in honour of a man that's been promoted to glory, Clark Taylor. That news has just come out in the last little while.
And that was City Point COC, All of My Days, a lovely song of remembrance for Clark Taylor, who's been promoted to glory. I thought that was a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah,
that's just news that's just come out. I've only just heard it this morning. I'm not sure exactly when he passed away, but at some point in the last little while. But yeah, of course, he was the founder of Christian Outreach Centre back in the day. So that was
a huge legacy.
Exactly. Some of the music that's been released as a result of that legacy that he's left. He's left a huge legacy. So sad news this morning that we've heard, but that is a nice way to, I guess, honour his memory with that curtain call song today. Speaking of remembering, though, of course, it is Remembrance Day.
Of course.
And so as we say goodbye, we want to remind you that at 11 o'clock today, we are all encouraged to take a moment just to be silent and to remember all those that have gone before us in war over the years. And so there will be a special feature in about half an hour here on Vision. There'll be a special feature, and then it'll also repeat because obviously we've got multiple time zones. So it'll repeat a couple of times this morning. as we do remember that significant moment and this important day.
Yeah, very, very special. Well, look out for that coming up on the next hour and the one after that by the sound. So
that's right.
You can't miss it by the sounds of things. But hopefully someone who won't miss their flight today is DJ.
Yes.
And he'll be back with me tomorrow. But Robbo, thank you so much for stepping in today.
No, it's just been fun. I've enjoyed being here and hearing some of the stories, actually, of people missing flights. Today has been a lot of fun. So, yes, DJ will be back with you same time tomorrow.
Oh, whatever you're up to, we pray you have a wonderful day. And I will be back with DJ tomorrow morning.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.